This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
He has time.
He's got the left side. Dobbs is there. Leaping grab. Touchdown. Touchdown.
Hey, Ken, do we have coffee?
No.
Good morning. Oh, wait, we got a there. Good morning, everyone. How are you today?
Good morning.
On the comments since like 8 o'clock this morning. Well, 8:44, John Dorn. And then, of course, followed by his buddy Motown Mitch. Wear purple. Wow. That's the take. If I ever hold one. Oh. And of course, go to this link, vote for option number 2. You're voting for Sarah. Not that we would ever try to sway an election or a contest at all towards one of our members. So go to this link here in the comments and vote for option number 2. I've already
Just comment in the comment section 2.
2. That's right. 2 in the comment section.
Thank you very much. I'm trying to get to the championship round.
Because they need help in Minnesota, Ken. In a non-football related, but somewhat football adjacent topic. Sarah told me today they're having fan issues in Minnesota.
Oh.
So, well, Sarah, why don't you tell us, because you tell it better.
So the Twins, somebody posted a question on Twitter. Why is the attendance so low? And there's people who want to push an agenda. And so they're like, oh, it's because it's unsafe. It's because of the crime. I'm like, whenever there are games, there's police presence everywhere. Maybe people just aren't attending these games because the Twins suck and it's cold. Nobody's going to go sit in the cold for 2 hours watching their team suck.
And part of the tagline is like, well, why are white people not going to the baseball game? Because they suck. That's why.
I'm not even gonna touch that one.
Hey, Joe. Why are? Oh wait, I gotta find a team that sucks in the Vegas area or in California. Hey, Joe. Why are the A's? Why did white fans not go to the A's games in Oakland? Could it be because they sucked? I mean, come on.
That and you come outside and your tires on or your car's on blocks.
I mean, fans don't fan if their team sucks. Yeah, there's always a massive police presence at any professional sporting event you go to. I just think I just thought it was funny. God, yeah. So hey, there is some news though. There was an extension yesterday, one that we kind of figured you was coming. The Bears extended Kyler Gordon So Spider-Man is staying in Chicago. That happened, but that was was anyone surprised by that move at all?
I didn't even know there was an extension.
Well, this is his contract year. Yeah, it happened yesterday. What option number 2?
Isn't he the one that? No, oh no, never mind. That's Brisker. That's always injured.
Yeah, Brisker's injured. Well, he had the concussion last year. Moonscar, option number 2 is Sarah's draft. Her mock draft. She's in the competition.
I'm trying to get into the championship, so when you guys go in there and comment too, it will help send me into the championship round, and I would really appreciate it. And if you do that, I will say something nice like Jared Goff is a very good quarterback.
Whoa! Now we're pandering. Wow. Next thing they'll say is Green Bay doesn't suck or something.
I ain't going that far.
It's awful hard to hear that coming from a couple of empty trophy cases and a singular one.
Oh, take your 2 since 1980 and shove them where the sun don't shine.
I see we're going Lions fan. We're putting the blinders on. We're going to act like nothing else happened besides what fits the narrative.
You weren't alive before those in the 60s when these things happened. It's like me saying, well, my team was so awesome in the 50s. Like, dude, I wasn't even alive. I mean, I'm sorry. Those arguments from the time period before none of us were alive. And it's not like we're – wait, real quick. It's not like we're like spring chickens anymore. Some of us are a half a century old. And when in the last half century your team has only won 2, you don't get to use the rest of them in the argument anymore. Because, dude, it's like, come on. It's like in our lifetime.
I know nothing happened before.
I'll just say this: congrats on all your championships, but I'm your rival. I'm not supposed to like you, so I ain't gonna say anything nice about you.
That's true. So
Hold on, but in order to be a rival, don't you have to like win at least one championship somewhere along the line?
But we do have a championship.
Yeah, but that championship comes with a major asterisk.
So does yours. You won championships when there were 4 teams in the NFL.
Wait, when did the Vikings win a championship?
We won a championship in 1969.
Well,
No, that's in the Super Bowl era.
It was like a shortened league year or something like that, to where they kind of almost just gave it to them.
Yeah, just like your early ones where there were like 4 or 5 teams in the NFL. I mean, if you want to talk about asterisks, then let's talk about asterisks.
Yeah, Joe,
It's not my fault how many people were in the league. We still won the league.
It's not my fault that they gave it to us.
Hey, Joe, what's there is say it's kind of like when the St. Louis Blues say, well, we were to the Stanley Cup final for our first 3 years of existence. And they're like, well, yeah, because you just got to go automatically. You didn't have to earn it. And that's what she's saying about the championships that Green Bay and Chicago won way back in the day, because there are like a total of 5 teams in the NFL.
Yeah, I get the argument. I was just saying, in order to be a rival, like you have to have, a rival to somebody who's won championships. You have to have won at least one championship. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Is Dan Campbell calling the plays? I hope so. Good morning, Broski.
Good morning, everybody. How you doing today?
No, as you can tell, the hilarity has started right off the bat this morning.
Well, I was going to say I caught like bits and pieces at the beginning. Are you guys talking a little crime and politics to lead things off, or what?
I'm just talking about how the post was that why aren't there many fans at attending Twins games? And somebody made it into politics and crime, like, well, it's so unsafe. And my point was, but it's not. When there are games, there is a higher presence of police. People aren't just going to the games because the teams suck and it's cold.
So basically, Broski, what we're saying is don't try to bring your politics and your stuff into our sports because it's a bad excuse. Because there's enough police presence at games that even if it's a crime area, you're going to be safe at the stadium.
How about it's because the Twins haven't been good since Kirby Puckett played there? Like, you know,
man.
Yeah, that's what I said. The Twins suck. It's cold.
Yeah, interesting. I've never been to
you
the
guys
stadium there
Kirby Puckett,
in
don't you?
Minnesota, so I don't know the kind of neighborhood it's in and if it's rough or how
It's
bad it is.
downtown Minneapolis.
You guys remember
Field,
Kirby
Target
Puckett, don't you?
Center, and
yeah.
US Bank are all within like blocks of each other.
And what do you think of this? What do you think of this comment from Motown Myth, Broski?
What's that?
This is the new narrative coming out of Detroit. Well, we hired Ben Johnson's teacher to be our OC. Therefore, we're going to have he's going to be better than Ben Johnson because he taught Ben Johnson, even though he wasn't with the team and we had Ben Johnson here. And Ben Johnson started his run.
Yeah, I mean,
Sounds like Major Coke to me.
Yeah, I was going to say, first of all, Kirby Puckett was the man. Loved Kirby Puckett. One of my favorite all-time baseball players. Guy was.
I used to trade his baseball cards when I was.
Yeah, dude, he was just a cool player. Like, what a fun player to watch play.
At Target Field, there's a Kirby Puckett Drive. They named a drive after him.
Yeah.
And there's a statue of him, too.
Yeah. Second of all, like security at stadiums, it's a real thing for certain stadiums. Like I said, I've never been there to see. But Minneapolis was one of those dumbass woke cities that were like, defund the police. Let's make so and so a hero. And then they cry when crime goes up because there's no police.
Yeah, but that has nothing to do with football games or baseball games.
Well, it could, but like I said, I've never been there, so I don't know what the neighborhood's like. But anyway, baseball just sucks. Like, who the hell watches baseball? I mean, the National League has a DH now. I mean, that's pathetic. Like, it's just about hitting. It's like how basketball went to like shooting 3-point. You either get a layup or a dunk or shoot a three. That's basketball. Baseball now is like you either hit a home run or you strike out, and it sucks. Like, it's garbage. Yeah, going back to the Lions though. Yeah, I mean, it's weird. Like, we're just dealing with a fan base who's just not used to winning, not used to. I don't even know if they're really even used to truly being fans. They just come up with nonsense. And yeah, this is all news to me that Dan Campbell was calling the plays last year, and now it's all of a sudden it's this Johnny Morton's iodized salt man who's all of a sudden the godfather of all Lions offense, and was the man on the cloud, like sitting on the throne, like teaching Ben Johnson this entire time, even though he wasn't on the team last year.
So then
even though he's never been an offensive coordinator in the NFL ever, somehow he's the reason why Ben Johnson was so good. So
how come he didn't win assistant coach of the year? Ben did.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's just nonsense.
How about we take a poll? If you think the Lions are going to be better because they have Ben Johnson's teacher, drop a 1 in the chat. If you think that it's the same old Lions and that they're a giant number 2, then drop a 2 in the chat.
The double meaning for Joe on vote number 2. I love it. Hold on. Let me do the show vote. You ready? Because this is really cool. I think
Giant number 2.
Here comes the vote for the panel. Let it populate. There it goes. Boom.
Exactly. Oh,
he was the OC. So the OC for the Jets is the godfather. But that Jets offense was so explosive last year, let me tell you. Woo! I'm shaking in my boots. The steroid era, I mean, that's so debatable. Like the Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire era, I think that saved baseball.
It did. Yeah, absolutely. People don't realize baseball was a dying, almost completely dead sport in this country, like in the late 90s. Like, it was almost gone. People just did not follow it or care about it. And even in the 80s, in the 90s, like, I don't want to say Major League Baseball promoted steroid use, but they almost kind of did without saying they did. And, you know, the Sosa Bonds, you know, McGuire's stuff like that brought interest back into baseball. That helped like literally revitalize baseball in this country. Otherwise it'd be completely dead by now.
Hey, good morning, Ken. There are a couple other Kens here. We got all these Kens.
Yeah, we got a smoking dad.
Yeah. Yeah, baseball. All right, but this whole thing with like, oh, we've got the godfather of the offense. Like, really? Okay.
So Morton was actually on the Jets last year?
No, not last year. I forgot what year it was that he was there, but it wasn't the greatest tenure.
He was such a good OC that he was a highly sought after individual to be a head coach somewhere. Oh wait, never mind, he wasn't.
The thing that pissed me off about that too, about baseball, is that like the level of pearl clutching when it came out that Sammy Sosa and Mark McGuire and Barry Bonds were using steroids. Like you had these baseball purists who were like clutching their hearts like, oh my God, they were using steroids. Like, come on, dude. Like, who hits 73 home runs in a season without using steroids, bro? Like,
Joe, I have 2 words for you. John Jones. I am surprised you're taking that stance.
well, no. And understand, I don't support steroid use, right? Like, I hate John Jones for that. But my point is that, like, baseball, like, you can make the same argument about the UFC then, because they've turned their heads for certain guys and allowed them to use it. But like, if those guys pop, then all of a sudden they're like, oh wow, we had no idea. Like, this is a tragedy. Like, no, it's not a tragedy. You guys knew they were using. You were probably like, helping them clear the test, or at least letting them know when the test was coming. Like, come on, man. Like, baseball, it just seems very hypocritical to me to like, they saved the game for you guys, and then you're going to sit there and crap on them like, oh, they were on steroids, so their records don't count. Like, I agree their records shouldn't count, but
Joe, Barry Bonds, before steroids, was already going to be a certified
he was already going to be a Hall of Famer. He didn't need steroids.
For sure.
That's the thing.
And based off of just that.
And just think, he absolutely turned himself into a hideous monster for our entertainment.
But, I mean,
You know what? People aren't into baseball because there's so many goddamn games that it's like nobody cares about baseball until September.
Well, I mean, like, and we're a football show talking about baseball, but here's the thing: Barry Bonds was a Hall of Famer before he went to Balco and all that stuff. So why not let him into the Hall based on his career pre? And you can even put in the Hall of Fame, hey, he's here not because of the home run. He's here for like all the Gold Gloves and everything else he did prior. And you can do the same thing for Roger Clemens, right? Football, we haven't had that issue that I can see so far. I mean, we don't have anyone that really has that issue. Now, the only guy that we really have an issue with, and of course he's capitalizing because he has the sweetest inscriptions on helmets, is Ricky Williams, right? Who had the lifetime ban for smoking weed. Like, all right, NFL, it's about time you lift that ban. But he does have the sweetest inscriptions for his sports memorabilia.
If we're talking about steroid use in the NFL, there's one name that Joe is going to be very familiar with. Thank you.
Yeah,
3 Mile Lyle. I was going to say we can't talk about that without mentioning him.
And I thought
Lyle Alzado?
Mm-hmm.
But completely different era. That was the era where dude, stick was still allowed. I mean, this is when the NFL, we were figuring out like stuff like, oh, Stickum might not be fair. Oh, steroids might not be good. I mean, but they weren't against the rules at that time. Lyle Alzado, did he break any NFL rules at the time? I don't think he did.
But guys, I mean, are you guys under the impression that NFL players don't use steroids? Like,
no, I guarantee they're on it. Okay, not all of them. There's a certain subsection of them that are probably juiced to the gills on something. It just is not something that pops up on a test.
Right, because they're looking to get the competitive edge. And that's always been the.
I would bet that 90% of your all pro team is juiced to the gills, dude. Like I would be willing to bet that.
Not Hutchinson, of course not.
Because think about this, dude. Like the NFL is already the top 1/10 of 1% all college players. Now, for you to stand out in that category, you're gonna need some kind of an edge, man. Like I don't know, dude. I think the guys who get popped for steroids in the NFL, the guys who like violate the substance policy, right? Performance enhancing drug policy. Those are the guys who are stupid enough to get caught.
Oh, by the way, option number 2 was the overall winner of our poll. So,
same old line.
Just a reminder, while you're choosing option number 2, go to that link and vote for me and comment number 2. Thank you.
People keep throwing Romo out there. Like was Romo the only one? Come on. Look at some of these dudes, man. And you're telling me they're not on roids? Like,
there we go.
We just hate to think that our heroes growing up were on the gear, dude. Yeah. But come on.
Well, Joe, let me know what you think about this take with roids. How people would always say, like, steroids aren't the benefit, or why they use them isn't necessarily for, packing on muscle and just getting jacked. It's to help you recover from injury, to help you recover from, whatever, to heal quicker, that type of thing. What do you think about that?
That's a totally valid point, and I think that's probably a good part of the reason why they use them, is because you deal with nagging injuries all season long, but they're not enough to keep you out of a game. Max Crosby played last year with a hole, like with an ankle that he needed to have surgery on, but he played the whole season on it. Like, it's like I understand. Like steroids, it's the same thing with Anderson Silva in UFC. Like he broke his leg kicking a guy, right? And then like he took steroids to come back from that, and then he popped for steroids because he was using them to come back from that injury. Like nobody ever accused him of being on steroids before that, and he was the most dominant fighter in the history of the UFC. Like,
yeah,
Philip. Oh, he's saying before 2027 he was over. Once again, Philip, man, you just always be mad. All the Bears extended a player. Oh, he's going to cut him by the year. What was it yesterday for Hallis Hall? Oh, yeah, Ben Johnson's going to be. No, it was a Packer fan I was talking to in space, and she was a hoot, by the way. She's really cool, but she's like Kate, if I remember what's her name. She was, Ben Johnson will be fired in Chicago by Thanksgiving. I was just like, what? And now we got Philip here with Kyle Gordon will be released because he's overpaid, because he just signed the extension yesterday. What did I tell you?
I was going to say also, whoever's dealing the steroids in the NFL needs to make their way up to Detroit because they need some steroids.
Yeah, I was going to say the Lions' defense is softer than a pillow made of clouds. I mean, they need some help.
Hey, thanks, Will.
He wasn't even in it.
Hey, well, I guess that's just how good I was. I got voted into the ballot.
I guess. Hey, Luca, stop telling us about your browser history. Because you have that in your favorites. Oh. Yeah, I mean, well, I explained that to Kate that usually NFL coaches get 3 years. It's very rare that you get one that gets never have I seen a head. Has there ever been a head coach who was hired and then fired midway through their first season?
Hackett was fired before the season ended.
Yeah,
that was like near the
this is just weird. Honestly, this is just weird by now by Lions fans. I don't. This is very strange. Like, Ben Johnson was a genius. Ben Johnson was the greatest thing ever. Oh, Ben Johnson will never leave. He's already getting paid like a head coach. We love our Benny Poo.
They were
Benny Poo,
blowing
we
that
love you
dude
so
last
much.
season.
You're so good. Then all of a sudden, Benny Poo leaves, goes to division rival. I get it. You're a little butthurt about it, whatever. But then all of a sudden, oh,
Now
no,
all
it
of a
was Dan
sudden he's
Campbell.
trash.
It was Dan Campbell the whole time. It wasn't Ben. It was Dan Campbell. Oh, yeah, Dan Campbell. He's so good. Yeah, Dan Campbell's the man. And then all of a sudden, oh, it's not Dan Campbell. It's Johnny Morton Iodized Salt. Oh, Mr. Morton Iodized Salt. Yeah, he's the mastermind. Yeah, he's been doing it. Oh, yeah, he was on the lines before. Yeah, it's all him. Guys, you sound like morons. Like, you sound like idiots.
Hey, Luca, ask your sister.
I think Moonscars is getting. He might be in the bowling alley, like in the alley behind the bowling alley with a puppy and some peanut butter right now. And that's why his mind's going the way it is.
Oh my goodness. Well, no, but Broski, to be fair though, the comment about Ben Johnson making it only half the season came from a Packers. So, you know, that's what raised the questions. Like, has there been a head coach? We've had one and dones. Okay, but we had one. Hackett didn't make the full season, but he made it more than half the season. Wow.
Sure, she did. She's got to tell you something.
So, you know what, though? Let me answer that first, Broski. So, okay, hey, Joe, you taught me how to get into the dominant position, right? But does that mean that you taught me how to finish the opponent or taught me on how to lock the arm bar or get him in a rear naked choke or anything else? You taught me the basics of MMA, right? Does that mean that you are the mastermind of my MMA successes?
I think it's a terrible argument.
Yeah, I mean
I think it's just 100% cope by Lions fans.
I mean, and here's the thing, like,
What are we coping?
if you look at the Lions' offense, honestly, like, it's not even going to be up to Johnny Morton Iodized Salt. It's going to be up to Goff because they even said Goff is going to be calling like most of the plays this year.
Yeah.
So what they're saying is actually irrelevant. So they're not even paying attention to their own team. Like, it's just crybaby, like cope. Like, I don't know what it is, but their offense, like, everyone's returning. Like, they have the same offense as the year before. So in theory, like, there really shouldn't be a huge drop off on the offense. The defense is like, you know, you could say the same thing about their defense last year. Oh, AG's the man. AG's so good. Other teams would question AG, be like, is he really that good? I don't think he's that good. Oh no, you're just a hater. Oh, everyone's hurt. Everyone's injured. Oh, he doesn't get a fair chance. Oh, AG, even though he's been there for like 3 or 4 years. And it's like, personally, I did think he sucked. Like, I don't understand why people thought he was so good. The Lions never had a top 10 defense underneath him. So how could he be that good? Like, I don't care if there's injuries or not. You know, and now it's just like AG's going, oh, AG wasn't that good. We upgraded. It's like, I understand what it's like being a fan, but like at some point you have to draw the line and just be like, you got to take a step back and look at it with a little bit of like, you know, non-biased opinion somehow. Like, this is just a little off the charts here.
Could I just point out that Luca's sister had a top 10 orgasm under me?
Nicholas
Oh,
is the Godzilla master, and he can teach you all things Godzilla. 'Cause I think he owns every Godzilla movie ever made. Period. Just want to throw that out there while we're doing this.
So if Jared Goff's calling plays this year, and he learned from Ben Johnson over these years, so now it's like, oh, Goff's calling plays so good because Ben Johnson taught him. He was the teacher. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are they gonna say now?
So wait, here's the question though. What do you guys think? How do you get my? Oh Jesus. What do you think their offense looks like now with Goff calling the plays? Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
We'll find out.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Well, I mean, no one can say it's going to be good or not because nobody knows. So we'll find out.
Wow.
Ask a stupid question, get a
No, I
stupid
didn't know you
answer.
liked the drive manual.
Hey, man. Whoever her doctor was, good job, dude.
So Mitch says that's a false narrative. He just said be calling more plays and all. But I mean, do you trust Jared Goff? And so, Sarah, that's more the question, right? I mean, sometimes you have to go more than just at the surface. I mean, we never mind. Is Jared? Do you trust Jared Goff to make play calls? Just like because I don't know how much I trust him under pressure. Because if you're,
I mean, honestly, at this point in his career, he's he's a veteran in the league. He probably would be decent at calling plays by at this point. He's like a cerebral quarterback. He's not known for who he is based on his physical talent. It's more like he knows how to play quarterback. So in theory, I would think he probably should be decent at it. And Mitch, no one said he's calling all the plays, Mitch. Mitch, stop with your little weird stuff you're doing. Nobody said he's calling every play, Mitch. Obviously, he's not going to call every play. But what I'm saying is they came out and said he's going to be calling a lot of plays. So in theory, I think he should be good. And if they were smart, they would feature Gibbs and stop with this. Oh, we start David Montgomery and he's runs through it between the tackles and he's our what do they call him, knuckles or whatever. I mean, I think that's lame. Just feed Gibbs. If you're smart, feed Gibbs.
I mean, they have Morton Salt. So shouldn't Morton Salt be calling everything, or are they just saying they don't trust Morton Salt to call the new offense? Right? And geez, Philip, you mad or something? What's with the Caps, dude? I mean, I know some of us are a little bit older, but we're not that old.
Hey, he noticed I wasn't wearing my glasses today. He figured he'd help me out.
I'm on my phone. I can't see any of the comments, so good thing for me.
But I mean, going to the Bears O-line will not be in the top 19. Oh, okay. I'll take 20. I'll take spot 20 over what it's been the last couple of years. That's like a 10 spot improvement. That'll work for me. Because we saw that Caleb could do some shit with the worst offensive line in the league. Imagine what he could do with the mediocre offensive line. It'd probably be a lot better. And I don't expect him to go from worst to best in the offensive line department in 1 year. To me, it'll be interesting to see how that works. Detroit's going to be interesting. If Dan Campbell's calling plays, I think they're in trouble. Great motivator, bad play caller. As we can tell by a lot of his fourth down plays. I'm sorry. Oh, well, Skipper reported, well, you didn't get it and you took the penalty. Oh, we failed again. But wait, there was a penalty. Oh, okay, we'll just try it again. Oh, wait, we failed yet a second time. But, well, there's no penalty, get another shot. Oh, well, they don't know what we're doing. Let's do it again. And you fail the third time. At some point, just take the goddamn extra point and go to overtime. Dan Campbell. Coffee. We're eating coffee. Not just any coffee. Bear Sticks actual coffee.
That makes one of us.
I can't have coffee. That's a good question, A-Dub. How often did he call the plays with the Rams? And then here's the other question. And when did he audible last year? Because he obviously audibled. But when did he audible, and what was the result of those audibles? I heard he was going to do the one where Luka doesn't travel to exotic places and give bad takes from foreign lands. That's just us looking for the Lions' brain count. Oh my goodness gracious! Hold on.
Yeah, that's bye.
Comment and block a user. All right, they're gone. That was quick. You want to talk about
So all the bad plays were Ben Johnson, but all the good plays were Dan Campbell and Jared Goff. Gotcha.
I can't see nothing.
That's because I got rid of it before you even saw it. I'm that good, sir.
And it's the second time you said that. I didn't even respond to it because honestly, Bill, I think your feeling really doesn't matter. I don't think there's really a chance in hell that Pete Carroll gets fired after 1 year.
No.
Like, just for the simple fact that it's Pete Carroll, he's going to get a minimum of 2 seasons. Like, they're not, even if he goes 2-15, like they're going to say, well, like it takes time to put a system in place and blah, blah, blah. Like, Pete's got a minimum of 2 years.
So this is what I love about some of the Lions fan base. They feel the need to speak on every team. Your coach is going to get fired after 5 games. Oh, my God, your coach sucks because we brought in the godfather of the offense and the Morton Salt Company. Oh, my God, he was so terrible when he's here. He did nothing for us. 2 division championship. Oh, but that was all because of Dan Campbell, who didn't make any of the play calls. Oh, Aaron Glenn was such a terrible defensive coordinator. 2 division championship. Oh, but, we don't know who else was calling the plays. But the Jets suck anyway, so he's going to suck there and be fired too. It's like, dudes, I've never seen a fan base that has been so venomous when people or players even leave. Like, remember when Ndamukong Suh left to go to Florida to make all the money in free agency. Oh, Sue was a terrible player, a bad teammate, blah, 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 blah. It's like, dude, Detroit, look it. First off, people are leaving Detroit because, well, it's Detroit. I mean, who wants to live in Detroit? Really, no one. But on top of that, it's part of the game. Like, guys are going to go get bigger and better opportunities in bigger markets, in better places, or just want to further their career. So coordinators leave teams all the time, take head coaching jobs. It's just a fact of life. But it's like the fans in Detroit seem to think, like, well, no, Ben Johnson was supposed to be your OC for life. Wasn't the contract for life? Didn't Satan make him sign in blood? I mean, come on, man.
And you know what some of it is too? It's like Lions fans, like they'll even still say, like, oh yeah, the Bears stole all these coaches and players from the Lions. Ha ha ha. Oh, the Jets stole all these coaches and players from the Lions. It's like, well, no, that actually didn't happen. The Bears have taken 0 players from the Lions. And and it's just like they want to use that as an excuse so bad that they can't. So I think they're trying to like just make up some other crybaby nonsense to kind of fill in the blanks there.
When was the last time the Jets had a competent offense? Like 2000? So Morton was from 2000?
Well, here's the other thing. Like, Mitch, or Motown Mitch, minus the spellionaires, you know what they say? Only the best have haters. That's why Lions have hate. But see, that's not why you have haters. You have haters because of this. Yakety, yakety, yak. We talk some bad smack.
And you have haters because you won 15 games and then got blown out in the opening round of the playoffs. Like,
yeah.
Does anybody here honestly think that Pete Carroll is going to like win as many games as Antonio Pierce did last year? Like with Geno and a better offensive line. Does anybody think the Raiders win 4 games this year?
I think they win 4.3, Joe. I agree with you, Joe. And then, but Bill, let's switch it up and get out of the North for a minute here because we do spend a lot of time in the North. Granted.
What divisions are you playing, Joe?
What's that?
Well,
what divisions are you playing this year?
I don't know yet. I didn't look at the schedule.
But here's a good question, though.
I'm more worried about the draft right now.
Does Mike McDaniels make it the rest of his contract if, let's say, they can't keep Tua healthy and they need a new quarterback? So so basically what the question Bill's asking is Mike McDaniels' contract tied to Tua's ability to play?
I don't know. He didn't draft Tua.
Yeah, Mike McDaniel, if he goes out and gets a quarterback very soon, he might get a little more leeway, but I wouldn't be surprised if they use him as the scapegoat. Granted, some of it is his fault, but for the talent that they had on the roster before Tua's brain became pudding, that they should have accomplished a lot more than they did. So I could see them kind of faulting him for it. So,
like, he didn't draft Tua, but he also convinced the GM and the owner to give Tua all that money too. So I don't know.
0-17, huh?
actually, they're going to go 0-20. They're going to lose so bad they're going to put a couple extra losses on for them.
I like Mike McDaniels. First off, his are a hoot, right? And then, like, when we watched in season on Hard Knocks with him as a coach, I think he obviously has the locker room. The players listen to him. I think he's a smart football mind, right? I think he's a fine coach. So I think if Miami fired him, he'd be one of those guys who'd have a job within a day.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
I don't know. He's a bit soft.
Why do you think he's a bit soft, Sarah?
Look at his players. They're like, I mean, like, from what I've heard, is like he's like too friendly of a coach. The players are soft. They show up to meetings late. They go, like, they have like all these issues that he doesn't have control of.
I actually don't argue much with that narrative. That'd be one of the criticisms that I do have against him, because I have heard things about the players missing meetings and stuff like that before. So it could be that Mike McDaniel is one of those guys that's an absolutely outstanding offensive coordinator, but shouldn't be a head coach because he can't control the whole team.
Maybe. And seriously, Mitch, how long have you been watching this show? How many times have we said that he's designing a new system based on the personnel in Chicago? I mean, come on, dude. Oh wait, there's Mike telling you the same thing. Jesus. I
was going to say that's not a bad over and under for him.
I mean, I like McDaniels as a coach. Yeah, he's a player's coach for sure. Yeah, and that's the thing. They're a finesse team, not a physical team. I would agree with that assertion too. Even though defensively they did have some physicality to them. I like him as a head coach. I don't think he's tied to Tua, though. I think he gets another quarterback, at least one more quarterback at minimum. And if he can pull whatever quarterback they pull, if he pulls even mediocre success, depending on the level of quarterback they get, I think he's a long-time coach. I think he's going to be, he's one of those rare guys who's going to be with a team for 8 to 15 years, because that's not the norm anymore, right? I mean, think about the tenured coaches. Like, the most tenured coach in the NFC North is who?
LaFleur.
And when LaFleur like 18. So, I mean, that's not saying much. It used to be, coaches were around with teams for a decade. Now it's like the average is 3 to 5 years max, it seems. So, you've got a pretty good coach when they're there for year 6, year 7, year 8.
Unless you're the Raiders, then it's like a season and a half.
Because someone was saying, well, the Bears, Kate yesterday was like, well, the Bears just get all these coaches. I'm like, they all make it like 2 to 3 years and then they're fired. But I told her that's a non-unique argument, because that's every team in the NFL.
Ain't you guys still paying?
LaFleur, I'm like, okay, yes, there are guys like LaFleur who have been there for 4 or 5 years now and doing well, but he's the exception to the rule, because look at the rest of the division. That hasn't happened. We're starting to get that in the division with KOC and Campbell, right? Starting to pile some years in. But look at other divisions. You got divisions where it's like you get a new coach. The division has a new coach every year. One of the teams is going to have a new coach every year. It's a carousel. I mean, it's very rare to find coaches that are staying 7, 8, 10 years.
I know that Miami needs talent, but like they have some talent on offense, but they got their defense got pretty much pillaged. But I actually think it would be pretty smart if Miami was to take a guy like Jackson Dart to sit behind Tua, because the odds are Tua is not going to make it through a whole season. And I think Dart could actually do well in McDaniel's system. Like,
I think they should offer the same money the Jets offered the Fields, because I think Sarah said it after the signing. I think Fields is a better fit for Miami than he is for New York, and with Tua's health proclivities, he would guaranteed gotten some starting and had a shot at taking over for Tua and given the Dolphins a starting option long term over Tua with the injuries. And that was so it was a bad move on Miami's part for not trying to do it, and a bad part on Fields' part to not go there or try to go there, because I think that system would have been perfect for him.
I absolutely agree. I think that's one of the few systems where Justin Fields could actually thrive and be a quarterback, because a lot of it is the downfield stuff, and when it's not, they have a decent running game on their own, but add Justin Fields to it, and that running game's outstanding.
I mean, because with Fields, the potential, you always see the potential with Fields sitting there. It's like staring you in the face, like, when's he going to unlock it, or when's the right opportunity going to present itself to him where he unlocks that potential everyone says he has, right? Like the Lamar Jackson comparisons and stuff. And look, at the reason those comparisons aren't bad is because they're not bad. I mean,
Ken. Fields ain't no Lamar, okay?
The Lamar comparisons are Lamar early in his career, where he was known for not throwing. That's a good comparison, right? Because he can run like Lamar. Maybe he runs better than Lamar, and like Lamar early, great cannon for an arm, but sucks short intermediate. Same rub on Justin, right? Lamar has become a much better quarterback over time, whereas maybe Justin hasn't yet. But that's why the comparisons were made. So it's a just comparison.
It was a dumb comparison.
No, it wasn't. It was spot on. But the problem
Justin is a running back disguised as a quarterback.
That's exactly what they said about Lamar, Sarah. That's the exact same thing they said about Lamar Jackson. But like I said, Lamar has become a better quarterback, and he's learned. Justin has not done that yet.
I was going to say that right there is the major difference between them, is that Lamar Jackson learned from his mistakes, where Justin Fields just kept repeating them.
And I think that Justin Fields going to the Jets is just going to be more of that same. If he had gone to Miami, I think he would have been better off, because A, the system suits him, B, good, solid coaching there. And you got Dan Marino in that room every day down there, and that's a hell of a good quarterback. I think that situation would have been perfect for Justin Fields, and would have been great for Mike McDaniel, and would have been great for everyone all the way around. But he took the money to go be a starter in the Jets. How's that going to work out for him when he's done after a year, and now he's maybe making $2 million a year as a backup somewhere and hoping he gets to Geno Smith at 10 years from now?
Yeah, and that's what I've always said about Fields. Like, the biggest knock on him for me is, like, the guy just does not learn from his mistakes. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, you can watch film with him, you can go over things. He just will do the same incorrect thing over and over and over again. So that's the big tissue with good old Bustin' Fields right there.
But I really think since Fields is no longer available, I think Miami would be smart to go ahead and take a guy like Jackson Dart. Like, start setting yourself up for the future right now. Like, you don't need him to play right away. Tua's going to play for, at least a few games.
Or if we get a decent fall in the draft of Shedeur, do you think Shedeur would do good down in Miami?
Yeah, I think McDaniel would. It would be a good situation for him, having Tyreek and Waddle to throw to, and you have a decent running game. They need a defense, but Shedeur's already used to not having a defense, so it's not going to hurt him that much. In fact, I actually think in that system, like, Shedeur could probably overtake Tua pretty quick.
Because the thing too, like, he misses on a lot of big plays at big times in games. He has a choke factor.
Especially for a quarterback that's known so much for his accuracy and ball placement. He has made some fucking throws that were so terrible it looked like me out there throwing the fucking ball.
I mean, so it's like, I guess to steal a Dornism is he fool's gold. is Tua fool's gold because like he throws up some plays, ESPN highlight reels and all that good stuff, but in the big games, those plays don't tend to happen from him. He doesn't make those big, oh my God, drives, and he throws an interception instead. He kind of runs in some ways to Favre, Cutler, and gunslingers of that ilk, right? More than an accurate guy.
All I know is I'm not paying a quarterback $50 million to play in that division when all the division opponents play outside in the cold under 50-degree weather in the winter, and he can't play in the winter. He can't play in weather that's below 40. Why are you paying him all that money? It's a waste.
And then, why didn't you just stay in Pittsburgh? Right? The Steelers don't have a quarterback. Is it really going to be Mason?
No.
He didn't stay in Pittsburgh because his feelings got hurt because he got benched.
I don't think Mason Rudolph has a chance of starting. I think if the Steelers don't end up with Rodgers, they'll draft a guy. Even if they have to take Jackson Dart in the first round, he'll be starting game one for them.
Or you're forgetting someone, Joe. They'll trade for Kirk Cousins, who they're saying is going to be a post-June 1st trade.
That honestly wouldn't shock me.
Here's the question. At that point,
That would shock me.
Atlanta has no leverage on any team in the league except for maybe Pittsburgh, right? What's the asking price, or what do they get for?
I'm going to say it's going to be like a 5th or 6th round pick because of that contract he's got, and I'm leaning more towards 6th.
I would say that they would have to give the Steelers a 5th round pick. Kirk Cousins is dog water, dude. Like, he's absolute hot trash. That Achilles did him in, dude. Like, he's not. He looked terrible last year. Terrible.
Yeah, and then I can see Tomlin bitch smacking Kirk Cousins in front of everybody after he does it.
Yeah, and then saying, "You like that? You like that?"
No, he's going to be looking around. All right, where's my baby powder?
Kirk has a no trade clause too. So don't think Kirk's just gonna say, "Okay, I'll go there."
I think
I would say he'd be stupid if he doesn't want to go to the Steelers.
Yeah, I think
Stupid if he doesn't want to go to Pittsburgh.
But here's the thing, though, with Pittsburgh, like Bill asked earlier about McDaniel. Well, dude, there's another guy in the hot seat, right? And I think Tomlin has to be on the hot seat. We were talking about last year. He's got to be on the hot seat this year.
I don't think he is. I think the fans just think he is.
Well, Philip, if we go by Motown Mitch's quarterback rating system, I mean, Kirk Cousins is at least a top 2 quarterback.
And Deshaun is 1.
Yeah,
It's the numbers, man. The numbers.
thank you, Nicholas. I mean, but if we're using the Motown Mitch grading system, I mean, they're getting a premier quarterback in Kirk Cousins, who's one of the best in NFL history. So
For the low price of $50 million per season.
Yeah. Shipping and handling not counted, not included.
Hey, but you know what? As much as we like to clown on Kirk Cousins is the greatest businessman the NFL has ever seen.
No, he's the greatest bank robber the NFL's ever seen.
That dude has banked somewhere in the neighborhood of $600 million, bro. Like, he's the greatest businessman the world has ever seen.
Champion of free agency.
And he still drives a minivan.
The number, there it is.
You called it, Joe.
The numbers. The number.
Yeah, I love you, Mitch. Mitch, you're a good guy.
I was going to say Motown Mitch, blurring the lines of between fantasy football and reality.
I hate fantasy football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Me too.
So 1 year I had Jefferson and Jamar Chase on both on my team. Both the quarterbacks get injured, they get injured, and I didn't win shit. I hate fantasy football.
I got to tell you though, like Mitch's unhealthy fascination with Goff is starting to me, dude. It's like I think he's probably like one step away from going full Buffalo Bill and trying to build himself a Jared Goff suit. You know what I mean?
How do you know there isn't one already?
Philip has a great take here. Philip has a great take. I think they should make Goff the highest paid quarterback in the league. They should do that. You're absolutely right, Philip. Motown. Well, you don't like fantasy football either. That's great. You need to tell your management over there to make Goff the highest paid, and you show them the numbers. You make the argument. In fact, you become part of Goff's representation, and please make him the highest paid quarterback in the league. Please do it.
One day, if Goff goes missing, we're all calling in to give the FBI the tip.
The facts are this show's not. No, our nightmare is you.
By that,
our nightmare is you dancing to Goodbye Horses with the Lions on the arm.
I mean, how many like Jared Goff fatheads like line the walls of Mitch's house?
But by that logic, there was a year that Russell Wilson had better numbers than Tom Brady. I would like to see anybody, and I mean anybody, argue that Russell Wilson's a better quarterback than Tom Brady.
I missed it? Oh.
Just like your argument you used to make about how Aaron Rodgers was better than Tom Brady.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'll tell you, I was full on the freaking delusional train with that one. But that's because I let my of the player get in the way of what was the actual reality.
All right, real quick.
Out of the darkness, and you saw the light.
We got less than 2 minutes. We got this question from Bill. I thought, what would it take for Pittsburgh to take Jimmy G away from McVay? And real quick, Child Phillip, Motown Mitch says he has nothing Goff in his house, which I don't believe. That's not true, Orlando, but you can thank Mitch for what you do here. So, the only rent, well, you guys never mind. But here's the question. We got a minute left. What does it take to get Jimmy G in Pittsburgh? Is there
all the crap?
The bigger question is, why would you want Jimmy G in Pittsburgh?
I just said an 8-ball of crack. That's the only way you're doing that.
Yeah, I think Jimmy G is one of those fascinations people need to let go. That time's over. Just like it's over to say Colin Kaepernick can still play in the NFL. No, dude, it was a decade ago. He's never coming back. Just let it go.
How about Brock Purdy to the Steelers?
Purdy to the Steelers?
For that 21 pick.
That makes sense.
It does make sense. And Goff is maybe a top 20. I mean, numbers are only part of the game there, Mo. Jimmy G's better than Mason Rudolph, though.
That's debatable.
I don't know.
Jimmy G's arm is gone, dude. We saw that when he played for Vegas. It didn't get better going to the Rams. Why do you think he doesn't see the field? Like,
too much hoistering hookers.
Oh, there we go. We got it now. Now we know why they want the wives of Pittsburgh. That's why they want them in Pittsburgh. The wives want them.
That's why I wanted him to be our backup too, but no, he had to go sign with the Rams.
No, he never had an arm, but now his arm is even like worse than, it's a noodle at this point.
And on that last take, we'll see you all tomorrow morning. Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for the comments. Go vote for Sarah.
Thank you.
Poll. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV.